What's up, and welcome to this week's show. It's Invisible Walls time, which means it's Friday. I'm Shane Satterfield, editor-in-chief of the site. We have an awesome show for you today and a tight posse rolling alongside. We got Marcus Beer on the show.
You say tight posse or tight pussy?
However you want to hear it, bro.
We're going to run out of lolcats.
Patrick Morales.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Throwing up the gang signs.
Cali Power.
And we have the man with the magic stick, Michael Damiani.
What's up, everyone?
We're kind of short on mics.
Yeah. Daniel Bloodworth on the show today.
Hey, what's up?
And Ryan Stevens.
Hello.
Also want to remind you guys tonight on Game Trailers TV at 1 a.m. we have another awesome show full of exclusives. The debut of Split Second. We have the first footage of Boom Blocks, the sequel for the popular party game for the Wii. And we also have a bunch of exclusive Resident Evil 5 boss reveals, so you can check out some of the big creatures from RE5. Definitely want to check it out to get you pumped up for the game. Let's do this. All right, first topic of the show today. There was two huge, big reveals this week, although I would beg to differ on one of them, and we'll get to that in a second. Lost Planet 2 and Mass Effect 2 both sort of had their teaser trailers released this week. What were your impressions of those guys? Obviously, they're teasers, so we didn't get a whole lot out of them.
Well, I don't know if you could call one a teaser. I mean, one was a teaser with Mass Effect where it was only a minute long and gave a little bit away. The other one was a 14-hour Peter Jackson-directed epic of immense proportions where they reveal new terrains, new monsters, everything all in one go.
Yeah.
Personally, I actually preferred the Mass Effect one because I think it leaves a lot to the imagination, as a good teaser should.
Yeah.
Lost Planet, the highlight for me of that one was just the little voice that says halfway through, finally, some new terrain. And I think that just sums it up, really.
Yeah, admitting to themselves that they probably screwed up on the first one with not giving you more options as far as where you could go. I'm not a big fan of the first Lost Planet at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with Lost Planet was, do you remember when they stealthed the demo in at E3 a couple years ago? It was amazing. It was a great demo. Would you agree with that? It was a fun demo?
Yeah.
With the grappling hook and the shooting, they let you ride the mechs. It had a lot of variety in it.
Yeah, I thought it was
and
a
then there
little
was no other variety once you actually
You
got
had pretty
the
much
game.
played the whole game after you played that demo.
I mean, the Dune sandworms were kind of cool, but yeah, the rest of the game is just wash,
well,
rinse,
it's freaking annoying.
repeat.
Because you constantly kept falling down. I don't know, man. That game drove me up a wall.
But I mean, it must have done enough business, one, to warrant a sequel and to warrant the movie.
Oh, it sold.
The movie, and also, I mean, the number Capcom always likes to throw around is it sold over 1 million copies on the PC in Germany.
Yeah, but the last 50 Cent game also sold 4 million copies, and it was a piece
But on
of
the PC?
I don't know. I don't think it even came out on the PC. But I'm just saying, just because a game sells, that doesn't mean it's actually a good game or it's quality.
Yeah, but it means they're going to definitely release a sequel.
Oh, yeah. But hopefully, Capcom will... I mean, they've already addressed the one problem a lot of people have, which was the whole game was white.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll look at some of the other issues that people have with the game and they'll try to adjust it a little bit and make it a little more enjoyable.
One of the things that stood out for me is actually, and this is a discussion we had last week with regards to Resident Evil, Capcom is hell-bent, it seems, on revealing so much of its products before the game ships. They're losing, they're leaving nothing to the imagination.
Yeah.
And as a gamer, I like to be tantalized a little bit. I don't want too many spoilers. I don't want all these boss reveals. I don't want all these new terrain reveals. I like to have bits and bobs come out to whet my appetite. But when it comes to the actual game, I'd like to have that experience and discover for
So
myself.
element of surprise, right?
Yeah, I mean, where's the attraction in me buying a game that I've seen 90% of it online in trailers and so on and so forth?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Mass Effect 2 teaser does,
Mass
There's a lot
Effect's
to do with
perfect.
imagination. My only question with it, though, is that BioWare is, urging everyone not to delete their old files because supposedly, your old Shepard will come to play.
Who the hell's going to delete that save file after they've spent 2 work weeks of their life building it?
Yeah. So I have to wonder what they're planning to do there.
Well, I
It's
kind of
supposedly
figured that just from the way the first one ended, without going too much into it. I mean, it's there were some pretty huge story impacting decisions right there at the end.
Yep.
So I mean,
Plot divergence.
Yeah, I kind of figured that they were going to keep going. What I think is interesting is the way the teaser. I mean, yeah, Shepard's killed in action, but when?
Well, you don't
You
know.
know,
if
you have
don't-
no idea
Well,
if
but
this
you
is at
also
the
don't
end of the
know,
new game. Is this at the end, between games?
They're
When?
saying it's killed in action, and apparently there's a book for Mass Effect that actually takes place a couple of months after the game ends. Now, this is my gut reaction just from looking at the teaser and seeing who owns BioWare now and seeing what else they're working on. nothing else has been announced on Mass Effect 2. I have a sneaking suspicion that Mass Effect 2 might well be a MMO. Bear with me here. One, they're working on Knights of the Old Republic Online, so they have that engine going. Mass Effect 2 won't see the light of day for probably another 18 months. Maybe even longer. We could be looking at Christmas 2010. They're saying keep your own save games where you've got your own unique little characters. Maybe it may not be 100% MMO. Maybe it will be perhaps more online friendly. And if you look at the end of the trailer, you see the armor and you see this robot, this killer robot in the armor. So it may not necessarily.
Is it a Geth?
It's implied that Shepard somehow turned into a Geth because that was the battle armor that he used in the first game.
She used.
He, she. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it could be whichever way you're going. But I mean, I just think that this, there's a lot of things going on right now with BioWare with regards to what they're developing for LucasArts, and they're owned by EA, and I really can't see anybody at EA not making the jump to, okay, Mass Effect sold really well. BioWare are working on this engine for somebody else. We've got this other game that's going to come out after it. I'm sure the new engine is not exclusive to the Knights of the Old Republic game.
I don't know, though. I mean, Dragon Age is a completely different style, too. I mean, I think they're just going for,
But
I
I would
discount
hate.
it.
I would hate if it's an MMO, but I would love if it had a Phantasy Star Online or light Diablo component.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys, but when I played during combat in Mass Effect, I always had my two bitches with me, and I just have them stay back and I do all the combat because it was too much of a pain. But if I was playing with if my party members could be actual people, it'd be awesome.
It could be full-on co-op. Yeah, I mean, it could be.
And I love my bitches.
Yeah, I mean that to me is the way people are going. Obviously, we're getting more and more co-op in games. Resident Evil is a prime example, and I just think that would be. It would be a very sensible move, and EA is a very sensible company about doing things, and utilizing engines to their best effect. And I think that Mass Effect might be heavily multiplayer driven, if not a full-on MMO like Knights of the Old Republic Online. It might be something really cool.
Well, Tabula Rasa has already proven that an MMO set in space can be a smashing success.
I think the difference
Aren't they actually
is.
blowing up the world of Tabula Rasa next week or
Should
something?
be dead by the time this
Well,
airs.
I think you look at.
Tabula Rasa's world will be disintegrated by the time this is on the
erased.
site.
Well, I think the difference is that Tabula Rasa was
Shitty.
Made by a legendary developer.
a legend in his own lunch hour.
Published by a legendary MMO publisher.
Yeah, right. Let's face it, in the MMO environment, there's World of Warcraft and everybody else is playing catch-up. But I think in the console environment of which we're talking about here, even if it's limited, whether it's like a 3 to 4 player multiplayer environment, it's been done with Fable, where you can have a couple of people going at once. I bet you they're exploring that right now, so people can have their own different characters. And I think it would be, would be a success. I mean, you look at there's been so many futuristic MMOs that have failed. PlanetSide, Tabula Rasa, just to name two. But I think BioWare, hot on the heels of the undoubted success that is going to be Knights of the Old Republic Online, this could be a good stepping stone for maybe limited multiplayer. But like I said, that's just my gut reaction.
Is there room for 2 MMOs? I mean, you have the Agency coming out, which is first party from Sony for the PS3, exclusive to PS3. I mean,
Mass
how
Effect
many
is going to be
MMOs
exclusive
can you
to
really
360s.
support? I think the PC is the most widely accepted platform in the world. Has proven that there's really room for just 1 or 2.
Well, I think the difference is that Mass Effect 2 is going to be 360 only.
Right.
So that's going to be
Oh,
interesting.
is it? They've
Where do you
actually
hear
confirmed
that?
that now?
That's my understanding, is because again, the original was published by Microsoft. It would not make any sense for Microsoft not to have a deal in place for any and all sequels to be exclusive, at least by 6 months on the 360. Microsoft are pretty good when it comes to tying up that crap.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they even own the IP. They may actually own the name Mass Effect. We'd have to do some research to figure that
Yeah,
out.
I mean, I thought EA was intending to bring it out to more systems, but
I think it would
That
still
is the
lead.
EA way,
It would
but-
still lead on the 360. It would just make sense. I'm sure there's a first option agreement that's contractually carried over, outside the purchase, because Microsoft, like I said, are no slouches.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I think we can probably say we're pretty excited about Mass Effect 2, whatever it is. Definitely spurred a lot of conversation just based on the teaser, which was the directive of the teaser.
Yeah.
Lost Planet 2, we're cautiously
Electric
optimistic.
Lost Planet 2 is.
What did I say? Lost in Bluetooth?
No, I think you said Electric Boogaloo.
Lost in Bluetooth?
I think the jury's going to be out on that one.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people may feel burned from playing the first Lost Planet. All right, next we're going to talk about a series that has seriously gone in the tank the last couple of years. Need for Speed Shift.
Who would
Could
smell?
have fooled me.
So, Bloodworth, you went to an event for this game. Is it truly not?
Yeah, actually, I went in with pretty low expectations. You know, I reviewed
think we all
Undercover
would
last
have.
year. You know, and I saw these screenshots, and I was like pointing at Rich, and I'm like, dude, this is like some Target render or something. That's not the game.
Yeah.
You know, I get there, that's the freaking game.
Wow.
They've been working on this for 18 months. Some Euro VP for EA spearheaded it. He actually races cars, and he got a studio called Slightly Mad, which they have a bunch of guys and worked on the GTR games and stuff. And you know, they just started building this thing from the ground up, and it looks incredible.
I'm sure it was hard for them to sit there and bite their lip when they saw all the rumors floating around about the series being canceled, and they're like, "Damn, don't give up, man! I got this game I've been working on."
Yeah, and it was, you know, real, you know, small private demo. You know, it was just me and a guy from OXM or something there, and they had other people rotating into the hotel throughout the day. But here's the telling thing. You know, like Undercover, we saw like 2 or 3 months before it came out,
Which
and I
was
don't
a
even
sign of
think
things
we
to
could even
come.
get footage at the first event or anything like that.
They had hands-on, but yeah, they were keeping it. Like, talk to the movie stars. Don't you want to talk to the movie stars?
You don't want to play the
You have
game.
movie stars in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, probably 9 months out, and they had a pre-alpha build there that looks way better than Undercover ever looked.
So,
Already.
they're aiming for fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be out this year, and it looks incredible. It plays incredible. It's
Now, it's a lot different, though, right? It's
It
not
is a
really
lot.
street racing.
Are there cops?
well. Here's the thing. What they showed me is track-based racing looks a lot like Race Pro, which I just played, or you know, any other track-based racer like Grid or Forza. But they're making it sound like that's not all there is to the game. That's just what they're showing right now. They've got the core of the game done now, and all their physics and stuff is pretty much in place. And the main thing that they're focusing on, though, is that cockpit view and really giving you the driving experience. That's what they're pushing with this.
Feeling like you're behind the wheel.
Yeah. So and the cockpit view is great. I mean, a lot of times you go into cockpit views and like the mirrors aren't really usable. I mean, you sort of see like a little speck behind you or whatever. But this, I could actually use the mirrors. I could see my right-hand mirror at all times, see my left-hand mirror, and I could see the cars crystal clear. Reflections on the hood are crystal clear. You know, the real reflections. But they have
But it's on a track.
It is on a track.
I mean, this series built its name on street racing, and I mean, granted, in this past 12 months, there's been like 4 street racing games released. It's kind of saturated. Still, I think there's a huge contingency of people that buy this game because they like street racing and modding their car and.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
It's a
asked
whole, like,
about some
dumb
of that
culture.
stuff. I mean, they definitely, you know, want to keep a lot of the Need for Speed elements in there.
No cops, though, right? So far, you can't have cops on a racetrack.
No, I mean, at this point, there's no
Fire
cops,
marshals.
but I mean, again, we'll just have to kind of
People
wait
just
and
like the
see
cops on
if
horses.
this is the whole experience because he talks like it's not. And Johnny wants me to talk a little bit more about the reflection.
That's why we don't give Johnny a mic.
But no, so some of the technical stuff, you know, when you're in the car, you know, they do a lot of this stuff where they're moving the camera around as if it's your head. So when you brake, the camera moves forward a little bit. When you take a turn tight, you get the G-force effect. And then when you crash, like there's just everything gets blurry and you're disoriented and you can't really tell where you're at for a second. And then when you get really fast, then it starts blurring out the dashboard and stuff, and just so you focus on the road instead of all the meters and things.
Now, what kind of cars? This is a track-based game. Are they still going to have like tricked-out Hondas with crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it
scoops?
looked like very typical Need for Speed cars. There was Zondas and all that in there. So the reflection effects they did, they were talking about the way they managed to trick it out is the reflection that's on your hood or wherever on your car. They're basically taking an image of whatever's being rendered and then putting it down like 1 frame later on there. So it's constantly moving and it's showing everything accurately.
How many cars did they show racing on a track at the same time?
Oh, I can't say for sure
Oh,
off the top of my
10?
head. Yeah, I mean 8 or 10, something like that.
Held steady?
Oh yeah, it was a solid frame rate. They're going to have it at 30 frames per second on consoles. But the crazy thing they were talking about is that they said they disconnected the physics engine from the graphics engine. So even though the graphics are going at 30 frames per second, the physics is going at 200 frames per second.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't
How do
really-
physics go at a frames per second
It's
rate?
called PR bull. dear boy.
They're shoveling
Yeah, I
it,
mean,
guess.
it's one of those things again where sim fans are probably going to eat it up,
Yeah.
But the handling though, it's a really nice middle of the line approach to where it's got those sim elements in there. You do have to pay close attention around the turns, but it's not punishing. It's still very accessible, and they have race lines and stuff activated like a lot of games do, so you can get into it.
Well, GTR was a great game, so they certainly have the pedigree going for them. They've established that they can make a great racing game.
Do you think they poached the best people from Simbin?
Yeah, there's a little bit of controversy around that actually. The past couple of weeks, Simbin, I guess, is like looking into it legally because they're like, well, this is an art, because it's not the same company.
Right.
It's just a lot of the same people, But I think that they started their own company before EA got involved anyway. So
Yeah, it's the old Rare parable. You can lock down the name, you can't lock down the talent.
I really, I would, even in the pre-alpha stage that it was in, I would pick up that game right now. I mean,
Wow.
it is
Bloodborne.
It is good. It is fun. It looks stellar. I think people are really going to be shocked when they first see this game.
All right, next we're going to go over a couple peripherals that have come into the office. The one I'm going to talk about, I wanted to give enough time with to make sure I could give it an accurate review. I'm going to talk about the PS3 keypad, and then Patrick and Ryan are going to step in and talk about some new headsets that we got. So first of all, the keypad. As you know, using the on-screen keypad with the PlayStation 3 can be a pain in the ass. This one basically straps onto the PlayStation 3 controller, kind of wraps around it, and actually covers up like the 3 buttons on the top, which is the PlayStation button, the select, and the start button. But it sort of extends them to on top of the keypad so you can still access them. The keypad's really light. It didn't add a whole lot of weight to the controller, which I liked. And it is a full QWERTY keyboard, which I also liked. There are some issues that I have with it. I think the biggest issue is that there's no backlight on it. So, I tend to like to play in a dark room, or at least with the light lowered. Since the keypad is black and the buttons are black, it's pretty much impossible to see what you're typing. And because it's small, it's really hard to figure out with just your thumbs where the buttons are. So that's probably my biggest complaint. At the same time, there's some really cool functionality in it. One thing you can do is you can sort of hit a button and you can turn all the keys into a touchpad. So it's kind of hard to explain unless you actually use it, but you basically just slide your fingers across all the numbers or lettered keypads, and it'll actually work as like a thumb slide or whatever that you'd have on a laptop.
But how is that any better than sliding it around with the analog stick?
It's not much better than using the analog stick. It's basically a way, because the way you have to hold it, because the keypad actually kind of sits on the top of the controller.
Yeah.
So while you're using the keypad, it's kind of hard to use the analog sticks. You have to actually move your hands down to use them. So I think they just used it as a way that you could basically, manipulate the cursor on the screen without having to take your hands off the keypad. The other slight complaint I would have is that it doesn't charge with the controller. So you physically have to charge the keypad and then charge the controller separately. And it doesn't come with its own USB cable to do that. So what I found is myself alternating the charges between the keypad and the controller.
Can you still access the controller charge slot when the keypad's
You
positive?
can, yeah. The way they wrapped it around, they have a hole. You can still access all the face buttons on the controller. It doesn't really affect the actual functionality of the controller at all.
Yeah, having to charge those things separately sounds like a bit of a hindrance.
It is. It wouldn't be as bad if they gave you a cable with it, but most people are probably only going to have the cable that came with their PlayStation 3 controller, so you're going to have to alternate between the two. But otherwise, the alternative is typing using the on-screen keyboard. I think we
Or
all,
getting a
Yeah,
USB
that's-
keyboard
Or getting
for like
a full-
$10.
Yeah, but I mean, this is convenient. It's on the controller.
Yeah.
I don't like it quite as much as the Xbox 360 one, which had a little more action. These buttons are real clicky,
Yeah.
whereas the 360 one was a little softer, kind of like a sidekick keyboard, which I really loved back when I had one of those. But otherwise, it's very well built, not too heavy. As far as functionality is concerned, there's also hot buttons to get to your message list, and sort of built-in hot buttons for PSN functionality, which I think is pretty cool. I don't have a ton of friends on PSN yet. Hopefully it's going to grow real soon. Once I do and I start getting messages as much as I do on Xbox Live, I think I'll appreciate a lot more of that extra functionality. Overall, I have to say it's good. It's $50. I don't know if it's really worth the money. I think if you hold off, the price might be dropping.
Well,
But
maybe if you start picking up those like DC Universe or something, a game where you'd want to type a lot.
Oh, you're going to need it, yeah. I mean, eventually you're going to need one of these. Unless you want to pay for a full keyboard, we have to set the controller down, put the keyboard on your lap, type whatever you're going to type, and then grab the controller again. So for $50, I think it's a little overpriced. I do think it's got good build quality.
Did Sony make it, or?
It is official Sony license. It was manufactured by somebody else.
Okay.
but Sony has put their official stamp on it. You know, the coloring and everything matches the controller great. It is aesthetically pleasing, I'll say. It doesn't look stupid when it's on the controller. One thing I'll say about the Xbox One is that it's white. So if you have a colored controller, you know, I have a black controller and a red controller, you snap that white thing on there, it looks retarded. This one, you know, you only have one color controller and the keypad's black. It matches it really well. It looks very organic attached to the controller. So if I had to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it a B, B minus, something like that. Good, but it's good, but it's not great. If you have money to burn, I'd go pick it up. Otherwise, I'd probably wait till it dropped to around $30 or so.
Yeah, if they ever decide to revive PSO, I'm all about that.
Yeah, it would be perfect. And so you guys are going to talk about some headsets. What do you guys got?
The Astro A40 and its mix amp.
Yeah.
So we actually had these guys stop by back in the end of 2008.
Just about.
Yeah. So these are premium gaming headsets. They were made for gaming in mind.
How premium? Like how much do they cost?
They're $250.
Wow.
They're
That's
actually
with the-
they're two different SKUs.
We have the preamp. If you want the full kit
You
and
can
caboodle.
buy an Xbox 360 for that and a game.
Well,
buy a Wii for
or a
You
full
can buy a
surround
whole
sound
Wii.
system.
Yeah. Or a full surround sound
Well,
system.
I don't know
It's
about
definitely a considerable
full surround
premium.
sound.
Yeah.
It would be a crappy surround sound system, but you could get one.
Yeah, no, the price point is definitely the biggest. Whoa.
Yeah.
But if you don't have, I mean, right off the bat, I
Whoa.
was entertaining these because I did at one point I was in the living situation where I could not set up surround sound.
Well, I think we all probably live in some situation where you like to play games after midnight. You know, my wife goes to bed before me sometimes, and, you know, I don't want to crank it up. I got to turn the subwoofer off. A lot of times I have my DJ headphones. I'm trying to stretch from my receiver all the way out to my
yeah.
chair, and it's like this beeline from my chin to my receiver.
The headphones the sound quality is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I played games.
It better be.
Watched movies, and
Better have
it's-
like Rumble in it or some.
Yeah, 2-hour
there
time
are-
massage with a happy ending
There
for
are
that.
adjustable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, audiophile. You're not going to get. You're going to be spending $150 on high quality headphones anyway.
No, I'm not.
High quality headphones.
Exactly.
I'm looking at you
A
personally.
1-hour massage with a
but-
happy ending.
Dude,
for
my
$150.
DJ headphones only cost like $160.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like $150. These are $100 more.
But you're talking about somebody who
$100
DJs and needs a good set of head. The average person's not going to spend $150 on a set of headphones.
And this isn't for the average person, though.
who's it for?
It's for a f***ing psycho with more money than sense.
It's if you
It's for
wanted.
50 Cent and his diamond-crusted skull.
They're amazing though.
I'm sure.
And,
They,
and
like
they
the
come
3D
with and they,
sound and
yeah. I mean the 5. I will say the 5.1 wasn't as good as I'd hoped. Like the first thing I did was throw a pipe bomb.
then it's
and-
a fail.
Yeah, I mean, it has to exceed
Dude,
every expectation
Every
to be worth
expectation
that.
for $250. It has to.
It has to be the audio equivalent of a happy ending in your ears.
That's
No,
all
but I mean it
Marcus
sounds
can
better than
think
a
about.
it sounds better than a crappy 5.1 surround sound though.
It does?
Oh yeah. If you have crappy 5.1 speakers and everything's kind of disjointed, this is still like a really clear sound. The bass is amazing, like bullets like flying through you and stuff like that. And
How
it does.
about comfort?
Oh, that's the other thing.
That's
It's really
really
comfortable. I
important.
I played a full Left 4 Dead match and then watched a movie. So we're talking 4 hours without taking them off. Well, three
No
and a
pain
half
at all?
hours. Totally comfortable.
No sweaty ears.
No, they're really big. I don't like. It doesn't make sense almost. But no, I mean the
Yeah,
comfort value is.
$250 for a set of headphones
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. From a design standpoint, they're definitely solidly built headphones.
Well, if you look at surround sound headphones, they're all that much.
Yeah, I know they're pricey.
Yeah. They're made by Astro, who did a lot of designs for other things. Like they've done the Xbox 360 design. They've done some stuff for Apple. They've done some Nike sports watches. So definitely a lot of
Oh yeah,
TLCs.
they have
of industrial
replaceable face plates.
Yeah.
If you really want to get into it. But the other thing they're selling them for, and what's cool about the
They should
preamp,
give you like 20 free face
is if
plates.
they're trying to go for the professional gamer like LAN party thing, and with the preamp you can actually make a audio network, so you can have everyone on your own team
Yeah.
speak without doing any sort of latency, or you can mix in
cool.
mix in your own music and stuff.
In the off chance that you actually have like 5 dudes with all of these headphones at once.
That's what they want.
Yeah. In
bet
the
they
unlikely
do.
situation, you can daisy chain them together and make like a private chat channel. But I found that kind of extraneous. I mean, most people just hop
How
on
long
the
are
the
show.
cords?
It's going to make a lot of cables.
Yeah.
Cords are generous because I mean it comes with an optical cable.
Oh, it does.
And that thing is, I mean, those are expensive, and that's like I think it was like seven.
So it's not like a
7 or 8
Bluetooth head.
feet.
Like it should be wireless, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's another
that kind
issue.
of money- I
don't
It is
know if-
wired, yeah.
I don't know if you could do
Sure
like
you
that
can Bluetooth.
Dolby Pro Logic because I mean even doing stereo Bluetooth's like a big thing right now.
So wait, it's Pro Logic. It's not digital.
it does everything.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. There's one other thing. Oh, and it does have a built-in mic and you can switch it from ear to ear.
Yeah, you can switch from left to right depending on your preference. Ryan briefly mentioned it earlier, but if you do opt to get the mix amp, you can also plug in your MP3 player so that you can get the music straight into your headphones without running, Winamp in the background. So it does free up a little bit of system resources. Kind of a minor thing, but a nice touch on their end. For me, I'd say that. Oh, another point that you brought up earlier is that sometimes you'd opt for these headphones because you don't want to really bother anyone else, nearby. Keep it quiet. I actually found them to be not that great at sound canceling for their size.
So you mean canceling
noise
outside
to you.
noise,
Yeah.
or people outside being able to hear what you're listening to?
People from the outside hearing what you're
listening
listening
to.
to. Yeah. I asked my friend because we were both at a LAN when I brought my laptop. Played a little bit of WoW with the headphones on, and he said that he could still hear it and it was pretty loud. So I was like, okay.
But what about canceling out the noise outside? Of the
That actually it does a very good job at.
Because honestly, for this kind of money, it should do everything. It
Yeah.
should be like
Well,
both noise
I'm
canceling
gonna-
headphones.
I'm
It should be Bluetooth.
It's really expensive. I mean, we all know that, but I've been looking at surround sound headphones for a long time, and they're all in this price value. And this is the only one so again, I'm shooting myself in the foot. These are the only ones I've used, but I was definitely happy with them. If you didn't
so
want to spend
apparently
money
they keep
on,
making them. There's a market for them. So
Yeah.
if there's for that market, you would recommend these headphones?
if you really want great speakers and you can't do it because of your physical location, I would recommend them. Or if you're really, really into LAN gaming,
Let's face
But-
it. Look, if you're going to go to a LAN event, you're not going to take these things with you because some going to nick them. I mean, what are they going to do? They'll leave your laptop and steal your $250 friggin' headphones.
Yeah.
So what letter grade would you give these headphones?
oh, geez. Because, factoring in price,
Price is a big issue.
yeah, I think I'd have to go maybe like a solid B.
I'd give it the B plus just because it is feature rich enough that it's definitely in the higher echelon of headphones.
And it
but
does give you all
the
the
price
cables.
is insane.
Mr. 50, what a surprise. Where the is my money? I need a few days.
10 million, guaranteed. That's the deal.
All right, next we're going to talk to the man with the magic stick, Mike Damiani. What have you been playing, Mike?
50 Cent, Blood on the Sand,
Biatch.
the game of the year. And that's not a joke.
Now, the
I
funny
am
thing is, it's actually been
dead
getting
serious.
decent reviews from pretty much everyone.
It's because it's actually a decent game. If
Now, didn't you say that this game started out as something else and then
Yeah.
they slapped 50
Yeah.
on it?
Yeah, this game started out as a Robert Ludlum game when Vivendi bought the license to Bourne. They also bought the license to a series of books called Covert 1. And originally this was going to be the Vivendi's answer to Rainbow Six. And it would, and you know what? The first time I saw it, it was actually a gorgeous looking engine running. It was running Unreal 3. They had these amazing, this amazing set piece where you were inside an embassy in China and you were infiltrating, and there was all these amazing graphics, and it just played really well. Unfortunately, some of the tools and idiots who were running Vivendi at the time, and you know who you are, and I hate you, decided that they were scared by the prospect of releasing a semi-tactical shooter. And then some numpty in marketing, and again, you know who you are, and you know what I think about you, decided, oh, we've got the option of 50 Cent. 50 Cent Bulletproof sold 4.5 million units, even though it was let's put 50 Cent on this one. Fortunately, that person is no longer working in the games industry, thank God.
Was it really a bad idea, though?
You know what? They took what could have been the game could have given Rainbow Six a run for its money.
Did
Really
the
could have.
But
Chinese
what does
embassy
50 have
have
to
a
do with
crystal
whether it's a
skull?
good game or not? I mean, obviously...
You know what? It was going to be. It was going to be a good game in its own right. And you know what? If somebody's doing a licensed game, I have no problem with them slapping 50 cent in or whatever. If it actually
I
works.
like how you could not say 50 cent right there. He's like 50 cents. I mean, cent.
50 pence. No, that's a full dollar, isn't it? No, but I don't have a problem with putting it in an environment where it works. But if it comes at the detriment to what could have been a phenomenally great, intelligent franchise, as to opposed to another pile of foul-mouthed bullets left, right, and center. I don't like swearing.
Yeah,
I don't
I know you hate
like them in my games. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I just would rather have seen Covert 1 because I like that style of game way more. And what I've seen of Blood in the Sand, I know I haven't played it, and that's Damiani's forte and area. But yeah, I'd just rather have had Covert 1.
Let's hear it. You did play it, Michael.
Yeah,
So we're all
no.
just sitting here blowing off steam for nothing.
Going off what Marcus said there, that what it could have been, what they've done instead is that they've basically taken the bits and pieces from different third-person shooters and kind of thrown them into this one game. It's got the combo kill system that the club has. I mean, if you played the club and you look at 50 Cent right now, you would probably think it's the same game just by the HUD interface and everything. They pretty much ripped that off. It's got a cover system that's very reminiscent of Gears, getting compared to Gears a lot, and it plays a lot like Stranglehold. It's got that slow, the bullet time type thing going on as well. And
Does it have quick time events?
has quick time melee events as well.
Oh, should be like freestyle rapping.
Yeah. You basically run up to an enemy, you just push a button, and you just like follow the quick time event. No,
well.
unfortunately, Eminem is not actually. There are less cameos in this game. Bulletproof had like a lot of cameos from his crew in there, but unfortunately, it's just 50 Cent and it's just 3 members of G-Unit in the game, and that's all there is to it.
Now, first of all, let's just talk about the premise, because the premise is absolutely
Okay.
ridiculous.
Yes. So you don't. The setting is you open up with 50 Cent giving a concert somewhere. It doesn't tell you where, but it's implied that I guess it's the Middle East based on what goes on. But they won't go flat out and say that.
Yeah, they can't do
No,
that.
he's giving this concert. He's strapped on with bombs. He's got ammo already on him. And when they
never
finish-
know.
As you do.
You never know there. They finish the concert. He gets a phone call from the promoter saying he's not getting paid. I can't give you your 10 million. Magically,
10 million per gig.
10 million. Magically, you teleport
That's a lot
from
of
the
vitamin water.
You teleport from the concert to some rundown building where the promoter is, and 50's about to cap this guy because he doesn't
The
have
guy
his money.
is about to give him 10 million, and he's in some slummy building.
Yeah, he's in some slummy building, and then out of the blue, he's like, I don't have your money, Then all of a sudden, he goes and removes a painting and goes, I have this priceless skull covered in all these diamonds and shit. And so 50's like, okay, I'll take that. And then after that, okay. He goes, you got transport. It's like, how the hell did you get over there? And now you need a ride out of there. And from there, they get ambushed, the skull gets stolen, and the rest of the game is about trying to get this skull back from random terrorists. There's an American mercenary group that shows up that like tries to get it. It's just absurd.
Does Indiana Jones turn up as well?
Dude, I was like, there might be aliens at the end too with what this game is going. But I just called it the Crystal Skull the whole time. It made sense. But the good thing about it is generic as it is, and it's laced with a lot of profanity. It's fun to play.
That's all that matters.
It's a good laugh. You will laugh a lot at it. It's got really cheesy lines in it, but the premise and the actual gameplay itself is just fun to play. And it's non-stop action, so there's no bullshit in it. It's just straightforward like gun. There isn't any variety. You just go through shooting the hell out of everybody, but when playing in small amounts, it's actually pretty fun. And I think that's where everyone's getting this positive vibe is that it's not a great game, but it's really fun to play, and you're going to laugh your ass off at a lot of this game.
Yeah.
Is co-op or multiplayer?
Co-op, it has online co-op and it has system link co-op. And I'd rather play it co-op because the one downside of the game is you have one of the G-Unit
One
members.
downside?
The biggest downside. The biggest downside is that you have a partner with you all times, and the AI is for them. They get in your way, they obstruct your view, they're horrible. When you play with another player, the game actually becomes a little too easy. The challenge goes out the window. But it's kind of fun playing with them, but there's no voice chat that I found, so it's a little hard. But it is fun to play online. We didn't get to play System Link, but it is fun to play co-op.
So I have to ask, there's rumors abounding in the office that after you've finished a little session of this game, you wander around smack talking like a mother. Is that true?
The game actually increased my use of profanity, yes.
I think I picked up on that in this brief little segment.
Whatever game I went on to next, I was just talking about it. Like I was yelling at the game, like, I'm going to this shit. I was like going.
Now
I started using the term bitch more. I started calling more people on the office hoes.
What about Shorty?
Didn't go that far.
Just Justin.
Yeah. And, so in the last game, I know there was a lot of music videos that you'd unlock for as you'd get along, and I know that's why a lot of people bought it so they could have the 50 Cent music videos, which is beyond me because I'm too old to enjoy his music. But are there music videos?
All the unlockable content in the game is extra tracks from all of his albums, and then a few of his select music videos.
And are they full of profanity and nudity?
Unfortunately, you would think so with this type of game, but the funny thing is, they seem to be censored.
Well, that's a
So I can say all that in the game, but once you get to the music video, bleep, 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 bleep. Don't know why. Maybe they're worried about them going on YouTube with profane. I don't know.
like you
Just
can't
made
record
notes.
game footage and put that on YouTube. Wow.
But it didn't make sense. But maybe they're trying to save some public face with that.
Can I just
But,
can I just reiterate once and for all, and this is heavy on the sarcasm, how pleased I am they decided to drop Cobalt 1 and put 50 Cent into this game.
Sounds like a solid decision to me.
Game over, pussy. Game over, bitch. That's the best you got? How you like me now? You up now. All clear, man.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. I'm incredibly sorry, but we've run out of time.
Oh, you're such a bitch.
I know how much that angers everybody when we say we've run out of time. Nobody seems to realize that every minute we talk on the show means that you have to work to fill that talking with video footage, but
Don't look at me. I'm not justifying. I told you not to say we're running out of time because we're using up all this dead air right now.
yeah. Make sure you check out Game Trailers TV tonight on Spike TV at 1 a.m. Split Second, Boom Blocks. Also have RE5 Boss Encounters. Don't miss it.
And bring your friends, bitches.
That's right. Ciao, Bella.